Merhabalar, hoş geldiniz. Sevgili gençliğin pek izleyicileri, for me falan. Çok uzun zaman oldu arkadaşlar, hoş geldiniz. My way. Yokluk'taki gelmiş. Ben tabi bunu geç gördüm. Çok meşgul bir hayatım olduğu için falan. Biraz geç kaldım o konuda ama hiç sorun değil. Bugün hikaye oynuyoruz. Hikayeyi bitireceğiz dermişim. Ancak 3-4 yanı bitirdim ben yine bunu. Bu ayarlarını hemen halledeyim. Şöyle koyayım. Buradan mesajlar olsun. Yolda tüküreyim. Çok hallettim. Ses var galiba. Ses de var. Tamam. Onu açtım. Görüntü kalitem iyi.
I once considered keeping some pets in my office, but soon gave up on the idea. It's just not right to keep small animals where they won't be able to see the sun.
Direkt jump görevi yani. Bunun hapisten çıkıyoruz. Yani iPhone'su.
Now for a little rest after breakfast. Wait a sec. Is it something? Oh, today's our big day. We're supposed to leave the
Bunu
fortress.
çıkıyor. İstedi baba. Fragman izlemedim. Karakter demolarını seyretmedim. Direkt güncelleme yaptım ve girdim oyuna. Umarım şey olmaz. Yani çok fazla bir bu neydi olmaz da. Çünkü hiçbir fikrim yok bu oldu hakkında. Tek gördüğüm bir balena yani o kadar.
Please sign here. This document will be effective immediately upon signing.
It's been so long since we've been to the surface. Let's hurry. Huh?
What's happening?
Bu ne? Ne oldu bu arada? Burada da hiç ses seda yok ya.
Let's go ask the Duke.
Diyormuş ki bir şey olmaz, düştük. Sakin olun. Bir düştü arkadaşlar, sakin ol denen diyormuş.
Your Grace?
Yol Grace.
Good to see you two. Is there some...
Yeah, what was with that earthquake just now?
Biri düştü.
That. The tremor didn't originate from the seafloor. In fact, it seems it came from... Over the years of serving as the warden here, I have developed a sense for distinguishing between what occurs on the surface and what occurs underwater.
So the fortress is okay?
If you recall our last incident, if there really were a problem, there would be crowds of inmates in a...
Huh. You've got a
Konuşuyorlar falan.
point. Okay, seems we need to get... by the way, do you know what day it is today?
I believe today is this month's pipe cleaning day.
Wait, seriously?
Ah, yes.
Yep.
Kalmadık yani.
It's you two. Are you leaving now?
Çok bile kaldık.
Right. Today is our last day
Karpuza
in prison.
kalmayalım.
But now that Paimon says that, it doesn't feel like we were confined here. Oh yeah, Paimon... Then be sure to come back and visit.
Kesin ederiz, kesin.
If you've
Daha
signed the release
önceki
papers, then you're
etmediğimizde
free to
bunu da
go.
etmeyiz.
The guards will escort you out.
You're not going to see us off?
I knew you'd ask.
Ne gerek
Alright,
var ki?
sure. Let's...
Well, you actually agreed.
Ah, so you do have a polite side.
After being down here for so long, I imagine you must feel like you're lacking companionship. Shall I? Yeah, don't worry. We'll come back to see you.
I hope you won't be here as convicts the next time I see you.
Ben
Do our
umarım.
best to stay
Umarım
out
olmaz.
of trouble.
Deyip olup geliyormuşuz yandan.
Well, report to him now. Next, you're going to see Monsieur Nervillette? Please pass on our kind regards.
I'm sure just your regards will do, no?
I believe it would be the
You're right. I've heard the palais has been terribly...
Bu odaları açmışken ben şu şeyi bir kapatayım. Tamam. İşte. Teleport oldum. Lütfen Nulet. Ay. Buradan mı? Robot var.
Palais Mermonia sure is
Evet.
buzzing with activity today.
Halt! Huh? Oh, it's you two. Apologies.
Excuse me. Would you mind helping me take...
I'll be right there. Sorry, I've got my hands full here.
Everyone's so busy.
Hello. You've come at the right time, but you'll have to wait for just a moment. In the meantime, please, have a seat. If you'd like to have something to drink...
That's all right. We just ate.
Very well, then.
Let's take a break over there while we wait for him to finish his work.
Okay.
All right. That should wrap things up for now.
Are you done with your work?
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Today should be the day you were released from the fortress of Meripede.
That's right.
Çıktığımda göre
And we
evet.
came here to see you right away.
Elinden oradan böyle geçmeyi ısrar ediyorum.
A massive whale.
Do you have any idea what that might be?
Judging from your description, that cannot have occurred in any ordinary waters. A whale of that size
Yeah,
and shape
çünkü
cannot
zilde
usually be
bunun
found in the
içindeydi.
waters of Tivat. Therefore, we can only assume that child is presently immersed in...
Immersed in primordial seawater? But how?
Evet.
Most people wouldn't be capable of entering in the first place. I'm not... Yes? What is it?
Ah, right. Paimon felt it too. We asked the Duke
Acaba
if he
ne
said it
oldu?
wasn't
Çok
from
mahvettiğim bir şey mi
underwater, so we
oldu?
figured you might know something about it.
It turns out that I have just received a report about this particular matter. The
söyle
source
ne
of
o
the
zaman?
tremor was here on the surface near Poisson.
Hmm.
After the shaking stopped, the water levels in the Poisson area rose at an
Güzelmiş.
alarming rate.
Ah,
The water levels rose? Oh no.
Fortunately, the water levels only rose for a short period of time and have already returned to normal now. If the change in water levels is connected with the leaking primordial seawater, then the situation in Poisson...
Navia should be in Poisson, right? We need to go check on...
I would also like to go there as soon as possible, but I'm afraid I can't leave just yet. We must immediate... I'll have to ask you two to go to Poisson first. I'll meet you there to...
There's no time to lose. Let's get going.
Please be
Tamam.
careful.
sen de. Tamam. Sen de değil lütfen. Dur. Hastaneye gidelim. Hastane. Hastane. Bunu ne? Bu arada hala bir kurtulukta.
Oh no.
Çok tuhaf.
What happened here? Navia should be around here, right? We haven't seen a single soul all the way here.
What will I ever do
Selam.
now?
Look, there's someone on the roof.
Just stay put. We're coming up. Watch your balance.
All right.
Bence herkes taşlı çözülmüş olamazlar ya.
I'm not young anymore. How will I survive on my own?
Tamam.
Oh, he looks pretty sad.
My leg. How could this have happened? It hurts.
Just hang in there. Help is on the way.
Hmm. Nerede? Şurada. Ama kanatlaşmadım mı? Buzlattık.
Oh, it's Navia. She's over there. Hey, Navia, are you okay?
Eyvah.
You're here.
We heard there was a situation in Poisson, so we came as quickly
Bir
as
şey
we
oldu.
could.
Yes. As you can see, the water level suddenly...
Ne oldu?
Demoiselle, there was a wounded resident next to a building southeast of here. We've already transported him to safety, but we've run out of medical supplies.
Hmm.
He's wounded?
He fell, so it's probably a broken leg. He's pretty shaken up. When the water level rose, he...
Ne?
He jumped down then. Find the leader of
Okay.
Squad 1 and tell him to take the wounded resident.
Understood. I'll take over his search.
All right. You'll be...
Ya benim...
I'm sorry. Where were we?
The situation.
Right. A little earlier, we suddenly heard a loud noise.
Hmm.
At first, everyone thought that something might have exploded in the waterways. But
Sonuç
before, the
alıyor o zaman.
rushing water seemed a little odd,
Oh.
almost like the unique color of primordial seawater. Some people didn't
Herkes
realize the
dönüştü mü o
danger and
zaman?
thought it was just ordinary water. Everyone on the street who happened to be close to the water didn't have a chance to escape.
Ben de nasıl sanıyorum?
As the water
Oo.
levels rose, they suddenly disappeared. They were all dissolved.
Ne?
Those who realized what was happening started to flee in a panic, desperately trying to get to higher ground. The Spina di Rosula initiated rescue operations as quickly as possible, but there have been... The water that flooded the area contained primordial seawater, so the lower levels of Poisson are still hazardous. To ensure everyone's safety, no one knows if this could happen again. All we can do for now is try our best to help evacuate the
How awful.
It was quite frightening indeed. I only...
Is there
Ben
any way
sanıyorum
we
ki
can help
normal.
Navia?
Su bastığı için yaralandı. Ben de herkes. Oğlum ezeli su basmış herkes dönüşmüş ondan. Evet ya.
thank you for being so willing to help in a moment of crisis like this.
Don't say that, Navia. That's what friends are for.
Ablanın yanındaki şeyler mi eksik yoksa? Hayır hayır. Dönüştü belki sınavlarda.
Demoiselle, we've got a situation here.
Sorry, I need to go for now.
And out she goes.
Okay, the wounded are being tended to, and we finished a preliminary... Of course, we should remain ready for anything, and continue... Traveler, Paimon,
Huh? Right now?
thank you.
Niye şimdi? Hı? Ah be. Konuşmuş ya herkes.
Ah, it's raining? That's all right. The real problem would be if we could feel water dripping on our heads in the fortress of Meripede.
people here, huh?
Niye
Well,
olması mı
given the
gerekiyor
time
bunun?
of day and the whole situation in Poisson,
Evet.
That's how things are now. The living are so
Çünkü
exhausted.
kendi de canlı boşuna millet milyonerler ya.
Navia, what's wrong?
Sorry. I just... Maloose and Silver. They won't
Evet
ever
onlar
come
dönüşmüşler.
back here again. What should I do, Pop?
Huh? What happened to them?
İşte şey misiniz abi? İşte yok. Anlayın.
Everyone agreed on the rescue plan, but still... they were helping evacuate the residents, and they were caught in the seawater.
Ah be.
What should we do?
I've known them for so long. And I know they weren't afraid. I could at least hold a funeral for my father. And I know where he rests. But as for Maloose and Silver, they're just...
Allah. Üzüldüm ben
Everything looks so
şimdi.
clean after it rains. Even the gravestones. I didn't expect that you'd enjoy a glass of red wine in front of...
I can understand. Besides,
See, it's not just me.
Arkadaşlar
I
bu
always
yamada
want to bring something when I visit
bizim var.
Papa.
Bu yamada
Perhaps
Bunda
we might
sağlık var.
even
O
have a
yüzden
picnic.
listelerimizi
He
hazırlayalım
wouldn't be
lütfen.
angry, would he?
Her an ne olacağı belli olmaz.
How could Master ever be upset? Yet the cemetery is the home of those who have passed, is it not? Everyone ends up here sooner or later.
buying yourself a plot in advance, are you?
No need yet. But when I do, I hope you'll let me be buried beside Master Callus, Demoiselle.
Hey, stop joking around.
I'm quite serious. That way, it will save us both the trip to see each other whenever you visit your father.
That makes sense. In that case, could I be buried on his other side?
Allah.
After all, besides you, Demoiselle, the two of us could certainly...
Personally, I believe we fill those shoes.
Why are you bringing this up all of a sudden? Seriously.
But I'd really prefer not to talk about this stuff. And what do you mean by saving me a trip? I'd make the...
I'd promised to let them rest in peace here. But here I am I'm sorry for letting you see me in a mess like this.
Paimon doesn't know how to help you feel better. But
Yapmayın ya.
I'd always thought I could make my wishes come true. But now that I think about it, Maloose and Silver have helped me so much. I'm so sorry.
you can spend as much time as you need here, Navia. We'll stay with you.
Thank you. Right now, by the way, you can have a look at this. It's
Obena, Khan, Burnett, Giverny, Francine, Karina, Daisy Ray, Joinville, Julianne, Esson, as well as Maloose and Silver. So, everyone else is safe. But still...
It's okay. I know what you're thinking. And you're right. The overall outcome indicates that the cost was worth it.
Right! Don't think that way, Navia. Maloose and Silver were not the price for saving anyone. They're here.
You're right. Thank you, Paimon. What you said just now was pretty amazing, actually.
Oh, really?
Seems you've become more eloquent in the time since we last met.
Ne alaka şimdi?
The knave? What are you doing here?
Is everything going well on your side?
Yes, my people are carrying out the mission according to your request. All the residents of Poisson have been evacuated, and we're preparing to relocate them to higher ground.
As for these supplies, we have everything taken care of. There is no need to worry.
Thank you very much.
Wait, do you two know each other?
We just met recently. Right, Miss Navia?
Usually, I would call this a coincidental encounter. But that doesn't quite fit this time. Thanks to the Knave, Spina di Rosula received generous support from the Fatui, which allowed us to complete the rescue and evacuation works.
Mutual aid is essential to fostering positive developments. We were already in the area, in any case, so it was nothing.
Ben sana hiç
That
güvenmiyorum.
said, I must say that you're a lot sharper than you let on. I'm sure you understand what I mean.
I apologize for all the ways in which I tested you previously. We've never worked with a Fatui before, and it's extremely important for us. My subordinates have reported that Fatui soldiers have been observing water levels and taking head counts in various locations. I hear that they've also prepared a large
Ben de
amount of
şaşırdım yani.
emergency supplies.
Güvenmiyorum da.
This is nothing to
Hala da
brag
güvenmiyorum.
about, nor do I intend to. It is simply the way of powerful organizations to act forcefully, whether they are doing good. As I've told this traveler before, I know of the prophecy, and I intend to prevent the impending disaster. Lending your organization a hand was a natural first step in accomplishing that. As such, do not be troubled by this token of our sincerity.
Without your help, there would have been many more casualties. I won't forget your kindness.
Furthermore, I sincerely regret what happened to Malus and Silver. I only wish that my people could have arrived a little earlier.
Don't say that. You and your subordinates, as Paimon said, Malus and Silver didn't choose to sacrifice themselves for any specific I've never liked hearing people put it that way. It's like trying to relieve pain.
You're right. I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Navia. Water is life to Fontaine's people, and it also spells disaster. It's no wonder that people...
So, you're one who will try to...
Of course. That is why I'm going to Hotel Bouffe de Thé. I still have some things to take care of, and the children need my attention. By the way, traveler, Paimon, one more thing.
Alright, then we'll just...
That is a clever and useful conversation technique, which I do like to use when necessary. Traveler, I'm sure you remember that I said we could work together when we had the chance. You and I both know that there may be issues with the Primordial Sea. Previously, it was the Fortress of Meripede's sluice gate, and this time it was the water levels in Poisson. Indeed. Allow me to share the latest intel I've received from the House of the Hearth's intelligence network with you. During some recent investigations, a child claimed to have discovered some ruins near Poisson. The ruins date back to ancient times, and seem to be worth judging by the dating of the ruins, they may be related to the prophecy and the coming crisis. The situation my people initially came to prepare for ruin exploration. Unexpectedly, this disaster.
So, that's why the Fatui were already in Poisson.
I wanted to take the children along, but unfortunately, Linny, Lynette, and Fremine have all been dispatched to higher ground to assist. Linny told me that outside of the house, the person they trust most is you, which is why I want to give you this task. The House of the Hearth's members see each other as family, but Linny, Lynette, and Fremine said that they also see you as such. I'm sure you already understand how earnest they can...
Oh! That somehow makes...
The intel I just shared about the ruins could fetch a high price.
Got it! So all we gotta do is go to some ruins.
Excuse me, but may I tag along?
You wish to join, Miss Navia?
But are you sure you're up to exploring some...
Well, I'm sad, yeah. There's no point in being depressed while we still have a Besides, I'm also doing this for myself.
Since you put it that way, I have no objections. All right. The ruins are to the south of Poisson.
Okay, the three of us will...
Şuradan. Doğum gitsek. Yani şuradan gidelim herhalde ya. Bunu yapmışken hemen kullanalım. Peki. Yeah.
So, are these the ruins the knave was talking about?
They seem to be pretty ancient.
Let's go in and have.
Just be careful.
Ha bunu bulur. Şöyle bir geldi. Ha, şey değilmiş. Şey sandım. Şey vardı ya. Telefonumu neydi unuttum şimdi ya.
Let the show begin.
Ya neydi şu karakterin şey... Adını unuttum ya. Çocuk vardı ya hani şey yaptım. Neyse aklıma geldi söylüyorum. Belliydi bu arada. Sonunda gördüm ama. Selam. Şurada var bir şey ama. Yok. Buradan değil.
This place has also been contaminated by primordial seawater.
Yeah. And a lot of it, too. A Fontainian would most likely dissolve the moment they fell in.
Right! You can't go down if there's primordial seawater. It's too dangerous and it won't be any help for you to just... don't get by my wrong. We're not safe.
No, you're right. I can't do anything in this situation. That complicates things.
In that case, do you want to wait for us here?
The water levels here are unstable. I'll go together with you. Perhaps we'll find the exit just up.
All right. Come with us.
Suya nasıl gireceksin?
Oh no, it's a dead end. Let's try climbing over from the side.
Peki bizim karakter suya girse... girmemek gerekiyormuş. Tamam. Yanlış yapmadım. Gel. Hızlı git. Hızlı gittim. Hızlı gittim. Fazla hızlı gittik. Bir saniye arkadaşlar. Bunu halledeyim. Ha. Şuradan mı gideceğiz? Çıkmıyor buraya da. Kalın buradan. Ha, şuradan aşağıdan çıkmış. Beleştir. Ne oldu? Kameraya ne oldu birden?
Wait, there's
Belliydi.
something wrong with this.
Belliydi. Kameradan anladım. Burada bir şey oldu belliydi yani. Hayır, geride kaldı. Düşmedim. Hayır. Hiç inanmadım.
Demoiselle?
Huh?
Demoiselle, what are you doing here by yourself? Would you be standing here till dark if I had...
Maybe she just wants some time to herself, Maloose.
Oh, was
Yes, it would appear so.
I must be tired.
That's quite possible. However, you were the one.
Oh, right. I nearly. It must have slipped my mind when I dozed off. This is a familiar feeling, yet.
Is something the matter, Demoiselle?
Oh, no. No, I was just trying to recall why we came out for a walk.
Do you remember Mr. Giverny? He'd requested our help before.
We were headed to see how things were going with him at the moment.
Ah, right.
Oh, Miss Navia. Ah, Mr. Maloose. And Mr. Silver, too.
How have you been?
I've been great. Thanks to your help, those bothersome merchants finally... They were knocking at my door day and night. Even my...
Sometimes force is required to calm...
That's right.
Oh, yes. One moment, I have it right here. Miss Navia, these are some flower seeds that I prepared. Please take them. They're very good for... I don't know what we would have done without your help. So this is a little token of our appreciation.
Ah, did you cultivate them yourself? Thank you so much.
Why, we can have as many pots as you'd like, Demoiselle.
Perfect. In that case, we'll swap out some of the decorative plants for some...
Very well.
Wait. Something... Excuse me, madam. If I'm not mistaken, your
Aa,
name is
ölenler.
Burnett,
Ay.
correct?
Ölenler Suda şeydekiler, çözünenler.
That's right. Is something wrong?
No, it's nothing. This is the first time we've ever met, but your name
Çözünenler
seemed
acaba
familiar
şey
to
mi
me.
oluyor böyle bir yerde
I must have heard it when I was
Toplanıyorlar
discussing
mı?
things with your husband previously.
acaba? Çünkü güçlü bir şekilde çözünüp buraya geldi falan herhalde ki demek oluyor ki ileride hepsini kurtaracağız. Onun ne manası kalmış oluyor? Tamam.
I've heard this name before. And why are there so few people around here? Where did everyone go?
We must mind the time, Demoiselle. We still have important...
We do?
Well, now, did you...
Miss Navia, here you are. I've been looking for you. Please, come to the Opera House.
My trial? Wait.
Yes, she's right, Demoiselle. It's just about time now.
Oh?
Look, it's Navia. She's here.
And her two attendants are with her.
Evet.
Goodness.
Diğeri de.
Everyone's finally here.
İşte o zaman.
There sure are a lot of people here to see the trial. And they all seem to be oddly... Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen. Why are so many... And as for the judge... huh? Where's Monsieur Neuvillette?
Çünkü üzülmedi.
Please sit in the defendant's seat. Don't worry, Silver and I shall...
All right. But are you sure you can stand behind me?
Typically, it wouldn't be allowed, but...
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
Come on, do they have any idea what they're doing?
Seriously?
Enough with the whispering! Could someone...
My dear Miss Navia, have you not yet realized what... As all here know, you are Master Callus's successor. After you took over the Spina, you treated all of us just like the late Master Callus had. If anyone in need, not only you, but your butler, your subordinates, nearly everyone in the Spina...
Wait a moment.
Yes, correct. Absolutely right. And that is why you stand We are one big family, all of us who are from Poisson, inextricably. Therefore, this fair and honorable court shall declare you guilty, and you shall stay here. You will be
Huh?
Mantığa bak,
Are you
mantığa.
saying? Everything you have said is correct. I have indeed done a lot.
Ah, well, if that's what you think...
How wonderful, Miss Navia!
I know all these people. Why are they laughing?
I seem to remember now. Yes, I get it.
Wait just a moment. This isn't right!
Malus?
What was that, Mr. Malus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now. She's...
Stay here, Navia! You're one of us!
Demoiselle, don't admit guilt. This trial means to keep you here forever.
I wish to exercise my right to defend Our Lady. Mr. Joinville, you only know of Navia's goodness.
She was born a free and independent spirit. She has never been tied down by...
Her actions cannot serve as proof that she identifies herself as... please do not mistake her actions.
Really? As an individual, you say? Don't forget, we are all Fontainians here. This, even if Miss Navia only voluntarily rendered her assistance, that doesn't change the fact that her beautiful soul... Everything is measured here in the nation of Hydro. And in the end, everyone shall meld together. Now, I speak for everyone. Our opinion is consistent. Navia should stay. We...
And you would call this justice? Preposterous. Have you forgotten how much you all once lost?
Do you mean to defy our justice?
Evet.
If your justice is flawed, then why should we acknowledge it?
As you said, we can also have our own justice. Silver and I, and that...
My head...
Demoiselle.
Silver, it hurts. My head is spinning. I remember now. Everything that seemed odd from the very beginning. Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs. Burnett, who we met earlier. Even Malus and Silver. I don't want to admit it, but they're all dead.
Yani ben de.
Don't be afraid, and don't admit guilt. We will protect you to the...
Absurd! Who are you to say that she cannot be judged? We are the... Don't let them escape! We shall keep Navia here with us!
Mr. Malus and Mr. Silver, must you be so stubborn? How could the two of you possibly hope to stand against the collective? Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just. Navia belongs to us. After all that happened, she should not be left alone in Poisson.
What are you saying?
No more excuses!
He says we're jealous. Jealous? How could she possibly be an independent individual?
What's with these people?
Who's jealous of her?
She belongs to us!
Miss Navia, she...
Silence!
That's...
Bunlar anlayacağım.
Monsieur Neuvillette!
Such commotion is prohibited in the court. The accusations you just presented are nonsense and cannot constitute a proper trial. The court will adjourn for the rest of the day. In this, I shall hear no objections from any unauthorized...
Our thanks, monsieur.
Please leave with me, Miss Navia, while there...
But
Go on now, demoiselle. This is your only chance to...
Loose.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I realized that...
Malus, Silver.
Aa, türbülenler şey mi oluyor acaba, yoksa şu uçan şeyin adı neydi?
Quickly, you must come now.
Goodbye, demoiselle.
Farewell.
No, wait! Just a second!
Hey, Navia?
You're awake. Good.
Madem Mehmet gelmiş
I
bu
must
arada.
have been dreaming. Malus and Silver were still alive.
It looks like you're all right.
Did all the sad feelings cause you to have a nightmare?
The ruins you were exploring suffered a cave-in. When I arrived, I found you falling toward the water. You were just about to be dissolved within, but I think I saw 2 Oceanids protecting you. It was only for a moment, perhaps even a fraction of a second, but they gave me the chance to retrieve you. Were it not for their intervention, I would not have been able to rescue you before your consciousness...
Wait, did you say Oceanids? You mean like what happened with Vache?
Evet.
Perhaps
Tamam.
those 2 Oceanids were the people you...
I always told them that they didn't have to protect me.
Please come with me.
Neverlet, are you okay?
Oh, I am quite all right. Perhaps there's something we could chat about?
Why do you look so stiff up? Oh, Paimon knows. You're the type who feels awkward when there's nothing to talk about, right?
I merely thought that we should give Navia some time to...
Huh? Why didn't you just say so then?
I suppose so.
Bu arada sikim mesela.
Sigewin. I hope all is well with her these days.
Konuyu
Her
dağıtma
work in the
seviyesine bak.
fortress of Meropide
Silah
has
var
not
bu
been too
arada.
much for her, has it?
No way, don't worry. She's doing fine down there. She's an...
I see. Well, that is good. I have always worried that Sigewin...
Oh, and the Duke also says hi.
Dükkanın kızına ama onu da söyleyelim.
He hopes that you haven't been...
Thank you. I have indeed been busy lately. And I also...
He still doesn't know what to talk about. What? So, Neverlet,
Yes, of course.
this isn't going anywhere.
Yes, in fact. I had arranged to meet you in Poisson, but when I arrived, I discovered that the Fatui were helping. Amid my astonishment, I ran into the knave, and we had a chat. She informed me that she had asked...
Yeah, we originally planned to meet up with you, but we thought you might still be busy with all...
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that. I'm feeling much better now.
Tamam.
Guess we should get going again.
Devam ediyoruz.
Will you come with us, Mr.
Şurada ne var
Neverlet?
acaba? Diyecektim.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
Onunla ne kadar dolaşıp içeri gidiyor. Peki. Merhaba.
Strike a pose! Let my name echo in song!
The wind knows me. The clouds high. The birds call.
Ready, steady, go!
Have a safe trip.
Neyse. Gitti. Gitti. Niye öyle bekledim anlamadım. Eyvah. Yine ne oluyor? Olacak mıyım? Evet.
Another unstable path. Watch your
Belliydi.
step.
Belliydi. Neden çıkacağım? Şuradan. Ama enerji bitti. Yapma bunu bana. Enerji bitti. Ciddiyim. Çok ucundaydım. Çok ucundaydım.
What
Merhaba. Okay. Yine gidiyor. Ama oyun enerjim yok. Oyun enerjim yok, yapma bunu bana.
Let the show begin.
As one with wind and cloud, one with nature.
It's gonna get a little chilly. Way now.
Nada cool. Okay. Aşırı müzik mi ilgili? Şuradan devam.
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden spaces in the vicinity.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates.
Burada var şurada.
It seems like they were put here as an offering.
Perhaps we should just leave them be for now.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first empty.
The surrounding walls also show signs.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see. Reason dictates that this nation be destroyed.
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose.
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed, the slate's contents correspond to it. Take the...
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of other people behind her doing the same. She's facing this... what is this?
And is that Lady Farina in the third image? Did the Hydro Archon fall into the water?
And is that a ring of people around her? Paimon doesn't...
The fourth image. I know this one. This exactly matches the content of the prophecy.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne.
Yani anlamıyorum, az daha açıklayın lütfen.
More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it.
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Neuvillette. Deciphering ancient...
Ooh, Paimon's getting the chills just looking at it. This says that it's the history of the future, right?
I really hope...
Still, Paimon feels...
Benim üçüncü bölümcüsü.
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the third, where the Hydro Archon herself falls into the water?
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing,
Günahlarına
Lady
bak.
Farina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in the second image might be the previous Hydro Archon.
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does match the records. The previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the skies, as if confessing a sin.
Celestia olabilir mi sorsa?
Did she herself commit that sin? And also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all. Judging from their contents...
But who would have created these
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Farina.
Fakat
In that
kendisi
case,
ortada
there's
yok.
no time to lose. There's nothing...
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Fırına nerede? Açı şu fırınayı gösterin artık. Şöyle bakayım bir. Başka böyle var mı? Pembe köşe sandık falan. Herhalde yok gibi ya. Ne olur artık. Fırına konuş yani azıcık.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with this...
You still have energy for that?
Just head back to the Fluvsandre and have a rest then. Thanks for keeping...
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Traveler, I will go talk to Farina tomorrow. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office. I will share the results.
Are you really gonna talk to her about this directly? Will that be a...
She has long been harboring secrets.
Evet.
Will not give them up easily. Which makes it all the more my duty.
Alright, we'll leave it in your hands
Ya
then.
konuşması
You're probably the best person
gerekiyor
to
yani.
talk to her anyway.
I will be carefully considering my words.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fluvsandre is always open. All right. I'll be...
We're finally back!
Welcome back. We've got a special menu prepared for you two tonight.
Ne gibi?
And there's good food too! Now
Oh, tavuk var, ekmek var, mis.
Paimon's already starting to forget what happened today.
Mona. Mona'nın burada ne işi var?
Oh, that voice. Is that who I think it is?
Şey mi yoksa bunun ustası bir büyücü vardı ya, büyücüyle ilgili bir şey mi var yoksa?
It's you two. What are you doing in Fontaine?
Senin ne işin var aslında? Hadi biz traveler'ız da senin ne işin var asıl? Mona tabii ama kim olmasın? Böyle şaşırdım Paimon.
Seriously, nobody just uses a scry glass whenever they've got time.
Still, we didn't expect to see you here. Wait, you're not a Fontainian, are you?
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. I was just out for a stroll when I bumped into you. Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Magistus doesn't sound much like a Mondstadt surname?
Yeah, let's...
Well, I used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her disciple that the first step to being a great... There's nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now according to her wishes.
It isn't?
Nope. Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally just means great.
Wow! Imagine including a boast in your name.
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I were Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Barbeloth.
Whoa, that's a long one. Does it also mean great or something?
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice as great scholar of the stars. Just take it as a title specific to astrology.
Thrice as great? That's so...
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call herself Magistus, actually, but when she took me in, she changed her name to Trismagistus.
Talk about excessive.
Magistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname. It's all right if you don't get it.
Terrible! But anyway, you're not Fontainian, are you, Mona? You're from Mondstadt.
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated to Dorman Port, and I traveled with the old hag for a while.
Oh, that's a good thing then. At least we know you won't be...
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? I know you're not a local, but there's something ominous about it. Well, the water.
Yani bunun için büyücü olmaya gerek yok. Girenleri gördük size girenleri. Gerek yok be.
That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to... The invitation was sent quite early on. I don't think it...
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona? Just tell us what you think as an...
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist. And that this prophecy concerns the fate of Fontaine. I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. But on the flip side, the prophecy is so huge and powerful that it must surely come from
A visionary? Sounds really powerful and all.
Of course. The old hag could do it. And I'd bet there are others amongst those Hexenzirkel colleagues of hers who could... Are you...
Evet, geçelim.
All right. I'll help you.
Thanks, Mona. You're amazing as all.
Oh, well, this is some...
That's the greatest of astrologists for you.
Indeed, indeed.
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything...
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now. If I receive any news, I'll be sure to come find you two again.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks.
Geldim. I'm here. Devam ediyoruz. Evet yani.
But we were able to recruit Mona's help, didn't we? Our Fontanian friends will thank us.
Güzeldi uyku.
Good morning. To be honest, I'm still feeling kind of... But it's time to get up, traveler.
Yani hadi.
You're here, finally.
Şey oldu.
Is some...
Monsieur Durvalette and Lady Farina, they seem to have...
Aa niye?
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
Hayır açıklamadın. Çok
And
belli.
yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not?
Aa değil mi?
Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
You mean they're all...
Evet.
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now.
Var yalan söylüyorsun ya.
You found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
Kırma öyle buldum. O zaman
That's
kedimdir
correct,
falan diyormuşum.
which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to...
The prophecy?
Hadi konuş artık
The
ya.
second of these slates depicts the previous
Konya'm
Hydro
artık,
Archon
konuş lütfen, bir şey
kneeling
anlat bize.
before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a
Evet, sana
certain
söylemiştim
sin.
yani.
If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any. You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
Abi ne var sende söyle, çok merak ediyorum.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
You.
Dövecek bu arada,
Since
çok
you know
sinirlendi.
about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it. There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eunuchs, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead.
Şunu döv ya, yeter artık.
Just trust me. You're
İşleriniz
Archon and
tutar
do
ya.
as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to
Kim
or
girdi o
not.
ayakkabı?
It'll all
Vurduk
turn out
şöyle.
fine. That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter again. Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smiling. Huh. She didn't...
Evet saklıyor yani belli ediyor yani. Saklıyorsun.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Oh! You noticed! Seems Farina...
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again, a state of affairs that we cannot allow to continue. Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage? Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that we may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
Oh? Like what?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a scenario.
Like, Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions.
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must... This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious. But who will lend us their aid to do...
Saklıyorsun
That's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world, huh?
That's what family should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely time together.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me?
Then, how about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, as for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh? How intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand, and used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain in detail.
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger.
I've also gone diving to catch some fish, but...
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus. Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other... A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment... So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the...
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the...
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer...
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of fish.
Şimdi. Bir yandan ki
And
takım
I
herhalde
can be
tek
their
başına konuşuyorum.
assistant. With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Suyuma kaldı bunu.
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, but I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey.
Kind, as always. However, if we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey.
Wait, why is that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly...
So, are we going hunting together?
Huh. We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually... But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god. A being whose seat is an exalted throne.
Oh, so that's what's going on. Sound...
Gelmedi. Çünkü fırına ortaya çıkmıyor. Ama Fırına ne yapabilir ki? Fırına bütün gel benimle değil götürün yani veya bir şey oluyor diyelim git gösteri var veya beleş bir şey dağıtılıyor diyelim Fırına gider zaten.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much. Paimon didn't think the meetings would go on for so long. Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone... it's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience. After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Did you just pour some tea? Then what's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I merely refrained from saying anything till now.
Büyücü mü geliyor yoksa şey... Mona'nın şeyi...
Aw, have you forgotten me already?
Wait, you are familiar. You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
The voice from the sky, I fear that description is wrong. Though, not completely wrong. You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. I sensed that confusion and thus came to you. Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim. The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history.
What? Then, is there any way we
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Tevat so easily be... So you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
What is she talking about? It all sounds really...
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality.
The voice. It's gone.
Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay? Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter. Mona! Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that steam. Not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting...
did she have pink hair by any chance?
Why, yes! It was Charlotte. You remember her, right? That I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies...
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear
yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old... Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon.
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's, but I've never met her. And if she were still alive, she'd be... well...
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see...
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand it.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means perhaps it is something that you cannot know right. Traveler,
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little down right now.
I see. I guess you could consider me someone who has often but even so, I still hope for. Perhaps that's what N was trying to tell you. Not to I did originally think of steering clear of all this. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't struggle to the last, then how can we face the end when it comes?
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. So it was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I suppose that might be why...
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. Hey, Traveler. Paimon suddenly... Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk
Lütfen
by.
çok merak ediyorum. Ne saklıyor ya lütfen. Ne yapıyorum bu çocuk? Bakılıyormuş arkadaşlar ama önünü açmış olduk.
Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper.
Niye?
Let Paimon see. The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued my recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blonde adventurer with their white fairy legends trailing in their wake. It is said, so while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walk. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even... She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's... seriously? Well, fine. Those...
Çok sakin ilerliyoruz. Görevlerdeyim. Lütfen hikaye böyle bitmesin ya.
We're here! Paimon's hungry. She... Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day cake! It was so delicious the last time we tried it. Despite the tense situation we were in, let's give it another go. I'm sure it'll be great.
One slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all. Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur
Wait, did he really say something like that?
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to...
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon?
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but... maybe...
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No, no. It's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but if you can do so today, then you should carry on. Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of cake to go? These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans...
Oh, you know Sijuin?
I sure do. She was born before. She said that humans are creatures that are saddened easily. Yes, I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now. You two try to stay in a good mood after eating, all right? Bye.
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. Paimon sure... It's more delicious than last time! And the flavor gets... Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food here.
Yani böyle ne yaptım burası hiç anlamadım. Yürüdük, geldik. Pasta yedik ve çıktık.
Oh,
ne oldu?
We're near the Steambird office. Let's go look for Charlotte and...
Aynen. Görevi falan hiçbir şey olmuyor.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon!
You've got some nerve! You just...
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to... It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you.
Really?
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon.
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like...
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden?
When Mona mentioned you, we thought
Bakın ben giremedik. Allah Allah.
I see. It seems you've already bumped into Mona. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real dare...
Nice. In which case, can this dare...
Huh? So your article in the paper...
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper.
Yeah, are we even...
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it.
Oh, in that case...
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh,
I mean,
splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief and me... Whew, so much to get done now.
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded
Yarın
tomorrow...
Sen boş ver bu arada. İngiliz emin oldum şu anda.
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass.
In truth, it might be better just to be... So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds... Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish and then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get... I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic. But I do love my job. But anyway, that's my answer.
That's so nice. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
Niye denize bakıyoruz?
The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh?
Şimdi su birisi düşünüyorsun. Oğlum dediğine bak.
Paimon's been thinking.
Hmm.
If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow. No, Paimon should ask
Çağırıyor
if
bildiğin
you
çağırıyor.
could choose, what would you like to do? We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. You mean, still traveling?
Yeah.
Huh. Wait, isn't that what we've...
Sakin ilerliyor ya hikaye. Çok sakin.
Feels like it'll grow mold if you... But it's still better than the Fortress of Meropide, that's for sure.
So the two of you are still here. Wonderful.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to look for you two before. I heard that afterward you went to the Fortress of Meropide. Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has declared the incident a small-scale riot.
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't personally... Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting during an intermission, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophet. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow and protest against the Hydra.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they...
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods.
So what happened after that is...
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, the Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only when things...
So, you mean...
That's right. The Maréchaussée has dispatched many people to search for her. That said,
Kim
I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of... Good. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to tell you about the situation.
Don't worry, this is more than enough to go on. Thanks for keeping...
Is that so?
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, and as we also know, she may be loud. When Nervillet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, it would be hard for her to ignore. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson. Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do it. In that case, there's not a moment to... This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
Aynen aşağı düştüm. Artık konuş, ne olur konuş artık ya.
That's Farina, right over there. She really is.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding up.
Ne yaptın da sizce bulabilirsin ki?
I'm sorry. But what can I even do other than to repeat meaning? Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina. It's just us.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land. Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you?
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts. They even dare to tout their Archon. I must teach them a lesson. Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marche Chaussee Phantom are freaking out right next to them too. Of course not.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Aha, ne yapıyorsunuz?
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the... That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch up!
Aynen. Şakasın.
This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest...
What? What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here!
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
Allah'ım yarabbim, çok uzunsun ya.
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me. No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
Evet, shut up.
You were right. Yep, that's a good girl.
What's happening? The ground's shaking.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the
It can't be.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Nouvellette's made some...
Yeah, but the people of Poisson... It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back. I've tried all kinds of ways too to hold back the sea. Anything to keep it. All my efforts proved to be futile in the end. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way. And the prophet... Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. Indeed, I've thought about giving up so many times. His special fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obey, but just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come as long as the final moment hasn't come. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end.
I hope so bacım, I hope so.
Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all.
Bir anma dedim ki tamam artık yavaş yavaş düzeliyor ama
Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine...
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone. A witness. Yes, I've heard that you came, and if Tevat is in its entirety a show on a stage, then you're if that's the case...
Hadi söyle. Hadi söyle. Ne oldu? I'm not the Hydrogen. Hadi. Ben değilim Tanrı. Hadi. Aa, tuzak buymuş.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
Hadi bakalım.
You would draw your blade against a god?
Dövüşebiliyorsun. Dövüş hadi bakalım.
I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a...
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Peki ne anlamına gelir?
For excuses again, huh?
Herhalde.
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall I will admit that I've been running away. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I too am... But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice!
Kesin demiş, kesin.
This time, I will protect you.
Ne yapacağım?
Applaud and rejoice. One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Fosalor.
anlıyorum.
Oh, now we're making history.
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this.
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness. Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins, just how much work did you do to
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, so we arranged for a second group.
So, you mean the ones who scout?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranias. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an
You're welcome.
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Ya seni kanatlayacağım, sıfırlamayacağım.
I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding...
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role was to you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the...
Hayır.
Oh?
Aha, okumadan bastım.
It's fine. It matters not. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte! Oh, let Paimon see. Wait. Then that means this document is a perfect timeline So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use them. Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
Yine sıçmalık geliyor. Hayır.
In the very first first duels you took. I didn't think that this is the first time, Miss Fatui Harbinger. The fourth. I hear the words of someone as extraordinary as a witch.
Tamam, okudum. Okumadım.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Nervylette. There's no need to repeat all. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been. Of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the actions of a god. However, you.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Değilsin sen, biliyorum.
What was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for first.
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge?
Evet, ediyorsun.
Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty?
Çok sinir oldum.
There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah. Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be superior.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be? If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the god of justice that you will not have to face.
Hayır.
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also overturn.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not, and if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
Şey olabilir misin? O sana ait olduğu için olabilir misin acaba? Yapma işte, yapma. Bunun ilgisi yok, tamam. Bunu senin anlamadım. Yalan söylediğimizde fırnayken inanılmaz gerçek bunlar onunla ilgileneceğini benim daha uzun üstü. Bu o zaman.
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
Curse. I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
You sensed it too, huh, Nervylette?
Evet.
Lady Farina is actually a human?
Evet.
Well, it is
Bence
true
öyle.
that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart. Just
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said. Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why, for centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemnitium that is used in every aspect of...
O zaman oyunu bastım
You
sen Allah.
tried to reference the Oratries, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratries declared Child to be guilty without any proof?
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult.
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon.
The real Hydro Archon? Well, now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratries gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratries handed out that verdict unilaterally. And it has been operating independently ever since it was.
Ama nasıl çalışmıştı?
You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the...
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power.
Evet, sen yine.
Power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I...
Sergili hacı sergili kanıtla zaman.
I'm prepared to extend my protection.
Evet tamam. Var
you
niye
don't
yok?
need to go that far.
Belki ben en azından önce sahibi insanın teknik ölçüyor değil mi? Hadi.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much...
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people. Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever seen a more...
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with...
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please, I'm still the same Farina you knew, right? Please, you've got to believe me.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed...
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents? Enough! That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon, then who is?
Onu düşünmedik.
If you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then...
Wow, she came up with yet another argument.
Sadece insansın. Ne diyeyim? O değil ama şu mu acaba? Salalım bu arada.
That doesn't sound right.
Aha değilmiş. O zaman şu mu acaba? Nalya'nın düşünmesi. Tamam o da değilmiş. O zaman bu.
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate...
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that now. I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago, including those of some of my... So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of this? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would have no effect on you, but if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rosula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I get.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls out...
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same.
She's just staring at the water with her...
What's going on? Is she really planning to...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina, you may...
Ne yaptı bu arada? Ben de beklemiyordum.
Hey!
O zaman Fontaine'e değilsin.
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would—
Miss Siegewien? If you're present, Miss Siegewien, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Siegewien?
Ne oldu?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see. That should...
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a...
Thank you, Miss Siegewien. Lady Farina, you may
Oh wait, what did she just say?
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, however, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur, we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low concentration sample. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have...
I can't believe... You...
Bence evet.
Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. Think about it. How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be Also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put my...
Aman artık itiraf et, yordum ya.
Please, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am
Değilsin
your
abi.
Archon.
Aldığına göre değilsin işte.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against...
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
Üzüldüm lan.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway her. She's too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is guilty. We shall now turn to the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
Tanımız kadınlar. Eyvah, adı bana olacak. Tanrı kim o zaman? Güçlü.
According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong? What's the oratrice's verdict?
No, the oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus: the Hydro Archon, guilty, to be punished via the death sentence.
Ne?
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court. And it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice.
Farina's been sentenced to death by the oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things.
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah! Even Fauché wasn't sentenced to death by the oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, but now, the oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! You finally made it.
Mm-hmm. Any mission, Father.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the name
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the But has the trial already concluded?
Nice.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow... Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates. We'd like...
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina. So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the...
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these... However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the...
Hazır buraya gelmişken bir yarım saat falan mola verelim. Ben kapatmayayım oynamamdan devam edelim. Buraya kadar teşekkür ediyorum. Hemen